Welcome to the Matawan Aberdeen School District's regular action meeting on July 18, 2022. Time is now 6:38 p.m. The New Jersey Open Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or agreed upon. In accordance with the provision of this act, the Matawan Aberdeen Regional School District Board of Education advertised this meeting on June 7, 2022 in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger. This notice was sent to the municipal clerks of the Borough of Matawan and the Township of Aberdeen and the Matawan Aberdeen Public Library. The notice was also placed on the district's website. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Case, can we have roll call?
Mr. Ahern? Ms. Barlis?
Here.
Ms. Friedman?
Here.
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Montone?
Here.
Ms. Pell?
Here.
Ms. Osborne? Present. Mrs. Scully?
Here. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes, June 13, 2022, Executive Session meeting minutes, June 13, 2022, Regular Action meeting minutes, June 21st, 2022, Executive Session meeting minutes, June 21st, 2022.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Roll call. Ms. Barlis?
Here.
Ms.
Yes.
Portman?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Pell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the correspondence to the board?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
So before we move into the superintendent's report, which will be the strategic plan, we did want to take a moment, if we could, and have a moment of silence. About 2 weeks ago, we lost a board member, Dr. Delaney. He served on our board for over 12 years, and he really believed in helping children and improving the quality of education for all students. His insight and years of experience will definitely be missed, and if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you.
If I could just add, we're in the process of moving into a new board office, turning the other half of this building into pre-K classrooms. When that takes place, we are also going to have a dedication to both Dr. Delaney and Ms. Randy Moore, who is unfortunately another board member that we lost in the last year. And we'll have a dedication ceremony as soon as we get into our new building. At this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Mary Ann Friedman, who is going to present out on our strategic plan for the next 5 years.
Can you hear me?
Yep. It's in the cloud.
I'm rolling it and it's not rolling with me. Let's see. Here we go. Will you all be able to hear me if I go over there without the microphone? Yes. Okay. So thank you all for being here. My name is Mary Ann Friedman. I'm the field service representative for Monmouth County as of April 25th, I believe it is. And so I'm happy to be here tonight and deliver the final strategic plan. So the strategic planning process, these were the components of the strategic planning process. There was the commitment of the board at the bottom of the pyramid and going up alongside. And that's the commitment of the board that they make when they engage in strategic planning to not only invite stakeholder groups in, and stakeholder groups that represent all of their community members, but then to listen to what you have to say. So it's not only inviting you in but it's listening to what you have to say, because a strategic plan is a ground-up process. So it started with the commitment of the board, went to information. The first thing that we did at the strategic planning conference on Saturday in March of this year was have a state of the schools report and a state of the community report, and those were put together by different stakeholder groups and different staff members. Then we did a visioning exercise and a beliefs exercise, identified strengths and challenges of the district, identified goal areas and some objectives, and then strategies, and then the action plans were put together also by people from the community and the staff as well. So the planning process really started with Kathy Weinkauf coming in at the time, meeting with the board and some stakeholder groups, representatives from stakeholder groups to identify what this process would be like. The state of the schools and the state of the community reports and the presentation of those happened on the conference weekend on Saturday. We developed belief statements that are pertain to Madawan Aberdeen, reviewed and or revised the vision and the mission statements, created a vision, identified strengths and challenges, identified goal areas for the strategic plan, and then action plans were developed. Strategic plan is being delivered to the board tonight. The board will approve this, and then the strategic plan provides really the framework for your annual district goals, and it gives the district a roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years. So we met, it was February, sorry. We met in February 26th on Saturday for the Planning Council conference meeting, and I believe we had about 80 representatives from the community there. There were board members, there was the superintendent was there, the business administrator, other administrators, teachers, staff, parents, community members, and students were there. And they all volunteered their time and contributed really to the success of this plan. So the belief statements are, we believe that this is what came from that group meeting on that Saturday. We believe children learn best when there's an environment conducive to learning regarding safety, basic needs, nurtured, loved, and respected. When students are engaged in learning, through different types of learning, lots of opportunities for them to participate in, and when they're encouraged. We believe children learn best when the culture of learning is promoted, with high expectations on the part of teachers, their parents, administration, and when students have high expectations of themselves, and when values and beliefs are attached to learning. Then we believe the role of the parent is to provide a supportive and nurturing environment that prepares students to be lifelong learners, to be active participants in their child's education, and to embrace their child's uniqueness and inspire them to exceed their potential. The role of the staff is to equip students with the knowledge and skills to ensure their future success and maximize their potential while meeting or exceeding academic standards, model and promote strong character, ethics, and diversity to ensure students become valuable and contributing members to society, and continue professional growth in order to adapt with the rapid changes of the 21st century and foster lifelong learning. We believe the role of the community is to supplement, support, and partner with the district to achieve academic and personal growth, active participation in activities outside of the normal academic hours and activities, and share their knowledge and expertise. And then we believe excellence in education includes passionate educators that build confidence amongst all students, preparing students for success in an ever-changing world, and creating well-rounded individuals that will have a positive impact on the world. So those were the belief statements that small groups made the determination of, came to consensus on, and presented to the larger group. We looked at the vision statement. Students will become lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and create problem solvers who achieve success as valuable and contributing members of society. That was not changed. That was looked at but not changed. Then the mission statement, this was the original mission statement from the past previous strategic plan. We're committed to meeting or exceeding the New Jersey student learning standards at all grade levels in all areas and providing a safe and supportive environment where all students are inspired, empowered, and encouraged to maximize their unique potential. This was reviewed and it was revised. And the group really took a lot of time. There were about 6 different groups that developed mission statements from the revision of the first one. And then they got together after the 6 were reported out on. And then we had representatives from each group put together a final mission statement. And this was accepted by the larger group. Fostering a safe and equitable learning environment that celebrates our diverse learners, provides the necessary resources and supports to prioritize the social, emotional, and academic development of all students. So that will be the revised mission statement going forward. Then, after doing those strengths and challenges, came up with 5 different goal areas: student success, social emotional learning, or SEL, mental health and wellness, finance and facilities, community engagement and communication, and diversity, equity, and inclusivity, which is also known as DEI. That's what was given to the action plan teams. The action plan teams there was instruction on how to create different action plans, and boy, did they go to town. There's a lot of work that's going to be done over the next 3 to 5 years, so you all are going to be very busy. But I think you're going to see wonderful advancements, including the advancements and the positive things that are already happening in the district. These are going to take things a step further. So for student success, typically I would see 1 goal statement or 2 goal statements. You have 6. So the first is to provide opportunities for students to explore and develop their personal passions, interests, and talents that prepare them for college, career, and/or technical aspirations through exposure to diverse learning opportunities and experiences. The second is to increase the achievement of all students through access to rigorous pre-K through 12 courses and programs across all buildings and content areas, along with appropriate support. The third is to continue to develop and refine programs and supports that meet the needs of students performing below, at, or above grade levels. The fourth is to develop, refine, and implement meaningful and targeted professional development for staff and community members. Develop, refine, and implement restorative approaches to promote a positive, supportive, and safe school climate and culture. And lastly, to continue to support and enhance district-wide technology access and support. So for each of those goal areas, there will be objectives underneath those and activities that go underneath those. And there will be not only the activity, but who's responsible for it, what are the resources that are required to achieve that activity, what are the time frames, and then what are the indicators of success. So each of these, you will see a number of pages that in the action plans. Goal area number 2 is the social emotional learning, SEL, mental health and wellness. There are 3 goal statements within there. Establish a district-wide SEL advisory council inclusive of all key stakeholders. The implementation of SEL curriculum, pre-K through 12 in the classrooms, and audit and revise curriculum. The third is the district will plan, collaborate with community partners, and establish a series of community, i.e. staff, family, and educational programs to support, strengthen, and raise the level of awareness of social emotional learning and mental health. And again, you'll see objectives under each of those and activities under each of those. Goal area number 3 is finance and facilities, to work collaboratively to meet district financial needs and to improve and upgrade district facilities, transportation, and procedures with an emphasis on school safety and security. Goal 4, community engagement and communication. By September 2022, Matawan Aberdeen Regional School District will initiate the School Community Relations Committee, whose goal will be to increase the quality and quantity of community partnerships with the district in an effort to extend the footprint of the district beyond the walls of our school buildings and allow for local organizations to leave a lasting impression on our students. The second is by January 2023, Matawan Aberdeen. I don't know where Manalapan is coming in. I drove through Manalapan to get here.
There's a lot of M's in Monmouth County.
There are. You would think for such a small state you could come up with different names. But anyway, the Matawan Aberdeen Regional School District will undergo a thorough audit of communication medium currently being used, website, social media, email, etc., and make recommendations for an improvement that will be included in the MARS communication plan and executed by June of 2024. And by June 2023, MARS will finalize and publicize the MARS communication plan that will streamline how information is disseminated throughout the district and provide a high degree of predictability for all stakeholders on how, when, and where to look for the most important up-to-date information. I think that's a fabulous goal. It really is, because parents members get a plethora of emails from the school district or go onto the website, and sometimes it's not easy to find what's most important. And this is going to streamline that for your community and your stakeholder groups. The fifth area goal is diversity, equity, and inclusivity, which is DEI. Create and maintain a diverse, equitable, and inclusive environment to best educate all students. So what we learned, the last piece of Saturday was we gave small pieces of paper, not terribly small pieces, but smaller sections of paper to each volunteer that participated, and we asked them to write down something that they were going to take away. So this is called What We Learned, quotes from volunteers. MARSD has a diverse community committed to the success of each student in each school across the district. It takes a diverse representation and voice to ensure district goals are aligned to community and student voice needs. To be proactive and let go of the day-to-day hiccups. Focus on the positive. We all have the same goals and have the ability to discuss the differences civilly. I enjoyed reflecting on all we've done and setting new goals for the future. It's another one. We all share the common goal of doing all that we can for the betterment of our kids. I learned that almost every district is dealing with the same challenges. Great to see community involvement. Interesting to hear all opinions and ideas of the community. The staff, parents, and the community are equally passionate about the students' involvement. And share of ideas is key. The commitment and dedication to student success by the community. The desire to create more opportunities for all learners across the district. MARSD is full of caring and dedicated staff, educators, administrators, community members, parents, and students. And today was a very productive day, although there's still a lot of work left to be done. I feel that this district has grown in working together. We all have the passion and desire to want the children, staff, and parents to succeed to their fullest potential. So there are actually 2 full pages in your packet that go through the quotes from volunteers, but these seem to really encapsulate a lot of the commonalities that I heard and I thought was important to share tonight. So what are the next steps from here? The board's going to adopt a strategic plan. The administration will implement the plan, and there will be updates on progress towards the completion of the strategic plan at board meetings. There will be items on the agenda that work towards the strategic plan. There will be an annual state of the strategic planning report that we encourage to happen either in June or July, and the plan also will be on the district website. So I want to thank you for all that all of you do for all of your students and your staff and your community, and I hope that you'll stay safe and healthy over the summer. Are there any questions that you might have?
I just want to make a couple statements. First, this will all be up on the website tomorrow, so it'll all be up there for anybody to view. And I'd also like to thank school boards. This is, in my 8 years here, this is the second strategic planning process we've gone through, and it's been a wonderful experience, and it's great to see so many people that are committed to the same goal, which is our children. And to me, there's nothing better than that, so thank you.
And I think that's really the beauty of strategic planning, is people come together from all different backgrounds and all different cultures and experiences and educational backgrounds. And the thing that people find over that weekend process, over that Saturday, is we really all want the same things for our kids. We want them to do the best that they can and to achieve the best that they can. So I think that's one of the most important aspects of strategic planning. And you all hit that mark. And you are going to be very, very busy. You'll see when you see the strategic plan up on the website, the action plans are pages and pages and pages long. And those are all the wonderful things that will be happening. Keep in mind, though, that everything can't happen in year 1. That's why it's a 5-year plan. So there will be things that the board will have to build resources for to be able to accomplish in maybe year 3, year 4, and year 5. But everything was accomplished from the previous strategic plan, and I have no doubt that it will be accomplished in this strategic plan as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Friedman. And I wanted to say a sincere thank you on behalf of the board to all the staff, administration, the students, and we had so many community members participate, especially in that weekend in February. So thank you for taking the time. It does mean a lot. It really does shape the vision and where the district goes. I know a tremendous amount of work has gone into this, so thank you. And it really is impressive to see how much came out of it. Like, we actually see the detail that's in here, which you'll all see when it goes up on the website. It's incredible, and there is a lot of work there, but it's good work. Like, it's going to take the district far. So very excited about that. So thank you.
Thank you, and good night. And I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you. So just continuing on, as part of the board president's report, just wanted to remind people that the updated curriculum is going to be presented at the next board meeting on August 22nd. So just want to make sure, again, that the community is aware of that. As we've said in the past, but just wanted to reiterate that the staff and administration is developing the curriculum, not the students. They're the ones who are developing it. They are currently developing the curriculum guides that will have greater detail on what's going to be taught at the various grade levels. Then we review it to ensure that what is taught is age appropriate, but also, as we've said from day one, we really want to tailor it to meet our district's needs and what we think is right for our kids. So just wanted to say that. And then also, for those that haven't seen the recent press articles, there was an article in the Patch, as well as, what was it there? 1015, right. We're pleased to let the community know that we have been allotted $500,000 in funding within the state budget. This is to support the Keys Academy in the upcoming year. Keys is a recovery high school that helps students who want to end their substance abuse issues. And just wanted to say thank you, Ms. Perez, Dr. Micah,
Ms. Perez.
Ms. Nieves, and the staff that's over at Keys and really doing a lot of great work with the kids. It's an amazing program, and really there's information on the district website. If you need more information, I'm sure you could reach out to the staff. But really, we're saving children's lives, and it's incredible. And with that, I'm going to move to the agenda. So curriculum and instruction, Ms. Perez?
Under curriculum and instruction, we're asking for board approval for the items listed under section A, travel, and under section B, items 1, 2, 3, and 4. That concludes the curriculum and instruction portion of the agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
All motion.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Yep.
Sorry. I asked it in advance in regards to the option 2. If I understand we don't have that tonight, which is absolutely totally fine, but I'm just curious how many kids in the future have, well, in the past have taken advantage of it, and whether or not people know it exists, and how we're actually implementing that, if it's consistent. If at some point, I'm just like curious as to, I've gotten mixed reviews from what I hear from people, so I was just curious what the reality is.
Typically, option 2 comes during the scheduling, part of when they meet with their counselors, their students are meeting with their counselors. It is an option. I do agree. I don't believe that a lot of the students are aware of parents, so that's why I responded that we would give an update at the next agenda meeting in terms of the process and procedures for students to be aware of that, and also the communication piece.
Thank you.
Ms. Perez, can you quickly explain option 2 for?
Yes, thank you.
I think we have.
We'll miss something back here, yeah.
You're not into option 2 yet, but you will be.
So under option 2, students are able to utilize some extracurricular activities that they're doing, so maybe perhaps dance. They can use that in lieu of taking a gym for credits. And there's other options, so the arts, performing arts, other things as well.
And they can supplement that with another class, so to speak, if they choose.
What grade does that typically start around?
High school.
High school.
9th through 12th grade.
Thank you.
Okay. Student services, Ms. Perez?
Under Student Services, we're seeking board approval under items listed in 1, 2, continuing on to page 2 of 4. Item number 3. Item number 4 on page 3 of 4. And that continues on to page 4 of 4. I'd like to note the, under item number 5, there was a board question in regards to how does this differ with Early College Academy. This program is for students, juniors and seniors, who can accrue 30 to 45 credits that are college credits. And the difference between that and Early College Academy is that Early College Academy begins freshman year, and you can accrue a total of 60 credits and also your associate's degree. So that's the difference between the two programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Mrs. Foley, I just have one quick question. I don't know if somebody answered this already, or I know somebody asked, but I'm not sure what the answer was. The difference in the healthcare pricing, for Beata, for the 4th and 5th student versus the others.
It's the time spent with the student, so that particular student may have a nurse on the bus.
Thank you.
Okay. Personnel, Mr. Lehman.
Thank you. Good evening. We're asking the board to approve the following items. Approve Section A, Section B. Under Section C, appointments, new hires. First, there's a walk-in item for the board. So in addition to the recommendation for hires that are on page 1, page 2, and page 3, we're asking to approve the walk-in item. In this case, I'd like to read into the minutes a change on the bottom of page 1 for Victor D'Amico, bus driver. It should read step 2 with a salary of $32.53. So that's an amendment for the minutes. We're also asking the board to approve the remaining items under Section C, that would be C2 through C9. Moving on to Section D, which is on page 6 of 7. We're asking the board to approve item D1, the HIB report from the previous meeting. Item 2, moving compensation for 21-22 school year. Item 3, school nurse for the 8th grade dance, 21-22 school year. Item 4, preschool health record management for summer 2022. Number 5, salary adjustments is listed on the agenda at the bottom of page 6, continuing on page 7. Item number 6, the Brookdale Community Pediatric Nursing Program for the 22-23 school year. Item number 7, job descriptions for the 22-23 school year. That would be the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice. That's a new job description, as well as Dean of Students, new job description. Item 8, the WIDA model for ESL screenings for 22-23 school year. And item number 9, the NEA fellowship for the 22-23 school year. That concludes the personnel agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda? Oh, sorry. Okay. So before I do a motion and a second, I would like to make a motion to table on page 7, number 7, item 1 of 2. If anyone would like to second that motion?
I'll second.
I second. Okay. So then for the rest of the agenda? Okay, so then on the rest of the agenda, if I could get a motion and a second to approve it?
I'll motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? No? Okay, so policy, Mr. Lehman?
So we have 2 policies on the agenda. First policy is policy 5512. We ask the board to suspend the rules of bylaw 0131 requiring 2 board readings to adopt the policy, and adopt policy 5512 with 1 reading in order to have this policy effective for September 1st, 2022. The second policy is policy 2415.50. That would be for our first reading this evening. That concludes policy.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
What do you want a second? Okay. And I just wanted to remind everyone that the first policy, we actually have already reviewed that twice in board meetings. It's just there have been revisions, that's why it's reflected this way. And I stated in the last meeting, and I do truly believe that it has gotten stronger, the HIP policy, which I think is a good thing, because I think it will protect students. There's more discipline when it comes to the bullying, if it should happen to be founded. So I think it's definitely stronger. It's a step in the right direction, and I'm pretty happy with it overall. Any other questions, comments? Ms. Regan?
I just wanted to thank you for sending it to me in Word so that I could change it in a custom format that I know, and I appreciate that.
Mrs. Scully, no, I just wanted to say I had brought that up as well in my questions earlier, that the consequences, we've been talking about this a lot with some of the behaviors, but the consequences I like are heavier and stronger, so hoping it would deter a little bit of behaviors for the kids, moving forward this September, hoping that helps. Thank you.
And I wanted to add that what I appreciated in addition to all of that was that there were also more notes of recommendations for counseling alternatives for both the victim and the perpetrator.
Agreed, thank you. Okay, moving to finance in this case.
We'll be asking the board for the motion on the following items: payroll for the month of June and bills for the month of July, transfer of funds for May, board secretaries for May, major fund status for May, approval of the settlement agreement between the Y and the school. They will be providing us a before and after care program, a projection of the PT services, physical therapy services, as we have now appointed someone on our personnel agenda. Number 7, for the allocation of submission for the Title I SIA, that came after the board agenda for the amount of $20,000. And approval of the district org chart for the new year, as well as strategic planning that we heard tonight. And we will continue working with the Garden State Coalition for the new school year, as well as routine travel for the school year and fire and evacuation drills.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion, but I have a question before we vote or reply.
Can we do just the motion?
Oh,
and
yeah,
second?
sure. All right, well, I motion.
Okay. Okay, question?
The reorg chart, because we're tabling that one position, do we have to?
It says pending approval.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? No? Okay, then we're going to move to public comments. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on matters of interest to the school community. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements should be directed to the board president, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their own legal advisor. Any public comment?
Hello, again. My name's Danielle Sproul, 74 Avalon Lane. I was up here a couple months ago, speaking in front of all of you, asking about the curriculum, what we're doing regarding the, what is it called? The New Jersey Student Learning Standards, Comprehensive Health and Physical Education Learning Standards. So I don't know where we're, as a district, where we're at with that, if we've adopted these standards and where we're moving as far as opting in, opting out, and what's going to be relayed to the parents. Is that coming in the next meeting? Can you give me any insight today?
Absolutely, I'll give you. So the curriculum is being written as we speak.
Yes.
We will be making a presentation at the next at the August board meeting that's discussing all of it. And as Mrs. Scully said before, it is being written appropriately. There will be opt-out provisions in it. As we get closer to that meeting in August, I'm anticipating, I have monthly meetings myself every month. At that monthly meeting that I have, which will precede the board meeting, I would anticipate most of that discussion to be about that. So it will be thoroughly discussed with whoever would like to discuss it, yes.
Okay. Did the board ever consider like rejecting the standards altogether, or was that not considered by the board when this 2020 standards came out?
So what we did is we have adopted a comprehensive health policy, which we have to do. So we did adopt that. We did make quite a few changes from the one that we were given that's kind of like the template for all districts across the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we tailored it in such a way it kind of softened some things to make them work for our district, how we feel makes sense for Matawan and Aberdeen, not necessarily other places in the state. So I think we were all pretty comfortable and approved the policy. That was presented here in a couple of meetings. In terms of full out rejecting, I don't believe that's an option legally.
I don't think you can reject it outright.
Okay.
But we can tailor it. So I think what we've been told, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we can, there are certain, and I think that's what we need to make clear to the community when we present in August, is there are guidelines and there are certain things we have to do, but there's also things that are there in parentheses that we don't necessarily have to do that, quite frankly, some of that doesn't make sense for our district.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the work that's being done right now, but I think we need to make it clear to the community when we present in August what's changing, because I don't really believe there's as much changing as people think there is, or in terms of what we're, as a district, thinking we're going to change.
Mrs. Scully, can I just say?
Yeah.
Just to address part of the question, whether or not the board considered rejecting outright, this originally was on the board agenda back in October of 2021-ish, I think, and it was tabled for quite some time for all of us to think and decide what was most appropriate. So I think it's fair to say that we.
So I was able to review some different districts on a specific website, which I could refer you guys to after the fact. I can look it up on my phone, but they will specifically create PowerPoint presentations of like Jackson District or Garwood District, school district, or other districts, Homedale's on there, and what they're doing in their districts as far as the new curriculum is concerned. And so there's things that are opt-in programs, so the opt-out option, some of them have been rejected, but maybe not to full capacity, I don't know, but it will give you specifically the age, the grade levels, so like K through 3rd, and it'll tell you how they've revised the language and how they're going to be structuring their curriculum. So I think that that's something that I would like to see us do, so that way as a parent I can understand better what is going to be presented to my children. So very, kind of for dummies, if you guys could list that out at the August meeting, so that way the parents have full understanding of what the curriculum is all about.
Agree 100% on that, and we've had those discussions too in terms of that we have to simplify it so that really what the parents care about is what's changing for me, what's my kid learning in that classroom. And I
In
think
a language that we can understand.
Yes, completely agree with you. Like having my own kids in district, same thing, like what are they learning? My kids are older, but I still want to know what's changing, what are they learning day to day. Even now when they have health class, like I still want to know because quite frankly, I think they start learning some of it in Boyd right now, and I wanted to know, they tell us in advance, and I sat down with my kids and I kind of gave them a discussion beforehand, so I knew kind of just, to put it out there.
And then another point is, if there would be more of an opt-in option versus an opt-out option, because then the parents would be presented with the information that will be, that their child will learn in the classroom, and I as the parent don't have to run to all the individual teachers asking what their specific curriculum is, and it could be presented to us as a class, because not every parent is going to be as proactive either. So that might not be, that's just something to consider. So therefore, the parents have the option of opting into the lecture or whatever that component is, instead of the opting out. Because then some people might not even know what's being taught to their children, if that makes sense. And then also, I think I mentioned before these Amaze YouTube videos that are out there in the world. Has the district thought about blocking those, like from a technology standpoint, having your IT person put that website restriction back there? So I know that my son, when he was in the Cambridge Park preschool, he was able to, on his free time, when they were supposed to be doing a Go Noodle or something, got to the Google and was able to look up the, what was that weird bird lady? He was able to Google it, and then he had to go to the principal's office, and then I said, well, why wasn't it restricted in the first place? Why is my child able to Google, my preschooler able to Google in the classroom?
So we have extensive firewalls. Nothing is foolproof.
Yeah.
So I have to look into that specifically a little bit more. I don't know if that's an anomaly or not, but certainly we have the ability to block things. But I can tell you right now, there are people out there that spend their whole day breaking down firewalls, so these things can, so I can't promise you 100% foolproof, but we certainly can block things, yes.
Yeah.
But I can't promise that it's going to be, there's no way through the defense of the firewall, because we all know, I think all of us at one point in time have been hacked to some extent, right? But the short answer to that is yes. However, there are things that do happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that we can't, 100% guarantee anything in life, but if there's something out there to try to prevent this, if somebody's hacking it, that's a different story, but if somebody's using it as an educational material, that's what I'm trying to prevent.
Yep, but we do have instances where it happens during the day in school by non-hackers, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I understand.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Let me see if there's anything else here on my little list. So on a different note, mental health is very important in our, in our country today, from everybody's perspectives, yours, mine as a parent, everybody's as a parent, teacher. And then I heard a rumor that Kathy Fine might be leaving or is relocating to a different school, which I think is a serious disadvantage to the Strathmore school. I said there's a lot of children that rely on her on a daily basis. There's a lot of children that rely on their social workers, their guidance counselors on a daily basis when they come to school in the morning. So perhaps thinking about it, I saw it in maybe the slides that were presented earlier, having a guidance counselor in each building that doesn't have to jump around the school. I don't know if that's an option now, if that's the way it's set up, but I think that having, somebody in each building that the child can, that, you know what I'm trying to say. So I would appreciate if Kathy Fine would be reconsidered to stay at the Strathmore School for the students that she has those relationships with, and those students rely on her. And in each school, is there a guidance counselor at Lloyd Road?
We have counselors at every building, including Strathmore.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Numerous,
Yeah,
actually.
very important.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of our executive discussion this evening was about social emotional well-being.
Right.
So that is a priority that is at the top with academics. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you guys on August 22nd.
Are you able to give us that website?
Sure, I have to.
Look it up, because I'm curious. I want to see if it's something I've come across.
Right now.
And if you don't find it till tomorrow, just email me.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll get it to everybody.
No problem.
Thank you, Jen.
Yep.
Hi, Theo Warnke, Iron King Lane. Hope everybody's having a good summer so far.
I'm going to work backwards from Danielle's comments. I was happy to see the 988 number is starting to be circulated on the town websites and some of the school websites, and I'm assuming that that'll be kind of a part of the welcome back information that the students are given. So I'm really glad that that's been rolled out, and I think it's going to be a great thing for everybody. Talking about the Amaze videos and other curriculum, as we know, when there's new curriculum changes implemented, there's a whole cottage industry that crops up, selling people on tools and resources to implement that curriculum. So I agree that that's just something that is not really appropriate at all. And anything that is used as a resource, whether it's software or videos or textbooks or curriculum resources, will that be part of the discussion when the curriculum is given to the parents so that we know, we'll be using this website or this resource, and so that we can look into it and see where that information is coming from?
Absolutely, but that's not changing. Resources are available to anyone at any time. So, and to your point about cottage industries, I have never in my life prescribed to cottage industries because each situation is unique. As Mrs. Scully said numerous times tonight, we're doing things for the community of Matawan, not to supply a cottage industry in another, that has a headquarters in Ohio or Indiana. That's not what we're about. Absolutely not.
Yeah, understood. And also just making sure, whatever the curriculum is that's presented, we can be assured that that's what people will stick to as far as teaching.
You have my word. I'm accountable to the students of this district. I would not sit up here and say one thing and do another. That's not fair to anyone at the end of the day. So
it's not meant to disrespect.
No, but I'm saying we clearly, and I think we have a staff that is dedicated to our students as well, and I have never come across that in my time, nor do I think I ever will. I just don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it here either.
No.
It's just, there's things all over
I
that
know.
are scary. So
But I can say
I know our teachers, and I trust them, so.
absolutely, implicitly, and to that point, I think a lot of this comes from all of the noise all over the place, right? And it's very hard not to be bombarded with it every day of the week. I would just ask people to trust in us, and we have children's best interest in mind when we're doing this, and that starts with me, and it works all the way down to everybody that is here. I was saying before, we have a great staff, second to none, and the trust is implicit. Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to be able to be here, so I guess we can still use the Zoom link for August 22nd?
Yes.
Moving my daughter into college. Thank you.
Congrats.
Or you can come in when you get back.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I have the website in front of me, if you guys want, anybody else wants to take notes, or maybe Google it right now. It's just pagsnj.com. And then is there any way, it talks about the resolutions against sex ed, and it was last updated July 13th of 2022, and it talks about different options. So Sussex County developed a parental bill of rights, Garwood rejected it, there's workarounds, and opt-in programs, which is where Homedale comes in. Is there any way that we can also review the content that's going to be presented on August 22nd before coming August 22nd?
It's virtually impossible. It's being written. I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. It just, I don't think that that's a prudent thing to do. You know? Mm-hmm. But as I said before, everything will be done in complete transparency.
I was going to say, I think what Ms. Rule's commenting on is it's hard to comment on something at the same time as you're seeing it for the first time.
Correct.
It'll be hard for me to comment on it if I see it same way.
Understood.
Yeah, and then the next time we meet after that, August 22nd, would be, school would have, when, is it, I don't know, is it every 2 weeks then, or
It's
would it be 2 weeks after
we
that?
have two board meetings a month.
Yeah, yeah,
Except July and August.
yeah. So there's really not much time between the next meeting and then school starting for changes to be made or content to be reviewed or, but, okay. It is what it is, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I guess I have one more question. Sorry. I guess my question is maybe why it wasn't presented sooner than August 22nd? What's been going on?
It has to be written. It has to be written. The school year ended, and then towards the end of the year, we post for curriculum writing over the summer. This has been the way it's been done infinitely into the past. So I think what we're dealing with is two things. We're dealing with the issue of the curriculum itself that has become a hot button topic, and now having to expect changes for curriculum for the following year to be presented while the school year is still going on. There is that tension right now, and it will be like that until it's done something different. So I think it's also the issue itself that is in the front burner, clashing with the curriculum writing process that has been the same forever. So I think that's where the issue is.
Okay, I don't really understand any of that, but I appreciate your answer.
So our staff writes the curriculum with that administration. While we're in a school year, they're teaching that current year. So traditionally, curriculum is written over the summer when they put in, like you would see the last couple of agendas, we were approving people to write curriculum over the summer. So that has been how it's been done. And to change that process is going to take more than a year. You know, if we did that every hot topic that popped up, it would not. There would be no consistency at all. So. You know.
Okay. If in fact the minutes or the agenda, the presentation for August 22nd is written prior to August 22nd, like maybe the 21st,
Yes.
the night of,
Yes.
you might be able to distribute
Yes.
it for some review,
Yes.
put it up on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? So now we're going to vote on agenda items. We've got action items within curriculum and instruction, student services, personnel, minus the one that we tabled, policy and finance.
Ms. Milas?
Yes for all except student services, item number 4, item 1 and 2.
Is that a no or abstention? No. No for, I'm sorry, what was the item?
Item 4, 1 and 2.
Thank you, understood. Ms. Friedman?
I'm a yes.
I'm sorry. I'm a yes for all except
For, yes, for item 4, 1 and 2, under special services.
under special services, yes.
Understood. Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Monton?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes, but abstain from personnel C.
Understood. Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any unfinished business? Ms. Osborne?
Kind of like unfinished new business. I just want to say that we've had, it was a couple weeks ago, Rasiopi was on the agenda as a hire. I know there were a lot of people that came and advocated for her. She is in the district, and so also the parents' point in our agenda, the ones that we have here, and I know we don't have anything back, it does show the hiring of the teachers and personnel staff, and it's
states that here you're hiring another school counselor, and it tells you the positions and the pay on here. Everything is public information. So if there's ever any questions about new hires, it is public information. You can always ask about it. But thank you to everybody who came out and advocated for RASD.
Any other unfinished business? New business? Okay, then we're going to move into executive session. Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and attorney-client matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be 15 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will not take place. Can I get a motion and a second to enter exec?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.